Hello, 7th graders. Our first unit for the basics of algebra is just going to be a review of order of operations, but you're going to find in this order of operations we're going to include more of the powers and exponents and roots that you did not see in our 7th grade unit of order of operations. For this section, I'm going to be looking again that you are showing your steps algebraically. So I'm going to just go through a few examples for you to reference. Again, remember that you will always start with the most powerful operation and work your way down to the least powerful operation, unless you need to do some things out of order, and then you will use and see grouping symbols. So if I take a look at this first one here, I can see that I have some grouping symbols. So I'm going to start by solving what's in the grouping symbols first, and 10 minus 6 is 4. Now remember, when you have multiplication and division in a problem, you do them in order from left to right. So I'll do the division over on this side, followed by, it's okay if I do the multiplication on the other side because it's separated by that addition sign. And finally, I add them together, so my answer would be 22. What we're going to see new in this next one are some powers, but we also see two grouping symbols. So remember that when we see multiple grouping symbols, we start with the innermost one. So that means we're going to add the 2 and the 3 together to get 5 and just keep the power out there. Now because the power is only to this 5, that's what we're going to do next, because within this we have subtraction and powers, and if you remember, powers comes before subtraction. So I'm going to do 5 to the second power, which remember is 5 times 5, which is 25. Now I continue finishing on what's in the brackets, and 32 minus 25 would be 7. Number next to parenthesis means to multiply, so in this case the answer would be 42. Right. Another type of grouping symbol, remember, is this vinculum or this fraction bar. So when you see that, you have to remember that you need to solve what's on top and what's on the bottom first. So if I go up on top, again, I have powers and subtraction. Powers come first, so I'm going to start with 2 to the third power. 2 to the third power would be 2 times 2, which is 4, times another 2, which would be 8. So it would be 8 minus 5 all over 15 plus 9. If I solve what's on top first, 8 minus 5 is 3, and 15 plus 9 is 24. Now I would do 3 divided by 24. You're going to notice that that does not come out to a nice even number. So you can either write it as a simplified fraction, or you could convert that to a decimal if it is a nice clean decimal. Either of these would be appropriate answers for those order of operations. Okay. All right, then the last one we're going to look at includes a square root. A square root, remember, falls right below the grouping symbols, but in itself it is kind of like a grouping symbol, in that if you have items underneath it, you need to complete them first. So we have multiplication, subtraction, and division. Multiplication come first, so I'm going to complete them in order from left to right. So 4 times 8 is 32, minus 21 divided by 3 is 7. Notice that this plus 10 is not underneath the square root bar, so I'm going to just put that over to the side here. So then I finish up with what's inside. 32 minus 7 is 25, and I continue to bring the plus 10 down. Remember that the square root is asking you what number times itself equals that. The square root of 25 would be 5, and so now I have the 5 plus 10, which means the answer would be 15. Within your packet is a practice sheet for you to do and review order of operations. Please take time to complete that. When you are done, you will scan and attach it to that corresponding assignment in our Google Classroom. Be sure to check in with me on DIG study hall days or Tuesdays and Thursdays in advisory if you have any questions. Thank you. Have a great day.